a calmer sea. Let me down easy. I know there'll be nothing to fear. Let me down easy. Let me down easy. Let me down easy. Let me down easy. My body slips away out into weightlessness. Let me down easy. Now I know that there's nothing to fear. Let me down easy when I rest my aching heart after it's been torn apart. When my tears have flowed on the tide of 100 seas. Please let me down easy. Let me down easy. Affection slips away into my memory. Let me down easy. There's a better time waiting for me. Let me down easy. 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 Come on. Let me down easy. I'm just growing up in stages. Living life in phases. Another season changes. And still my ways are endless. I know we're growing up in stages. And I'm running out of pages. Growing up.
There's something very weak coming through.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Hello, fellow Galactic listeners. I'm Aaron Julian, and this is WSTR, Galactic Public Access, a Star Wars podcast. Welcome to episode 281. We hope you and yours are well, and with everything crazy going on, we want to continue to be a platform that promotes positivity, life, and hope, and a little Star Wars along the way. Today, as we get prepared for the Andor show, we are doing an Imperial Inspection on Mon Mothma, an important figure in Star Wars history, as well as the upcoming Andor show, if there are any indications. But before we talk about debates in the Galactic Senate, let's see who we got here. Mr. Todd Hoffman.
What's up? It feels good to have somebody else with me today. Because I was all by myself last week. You were off gallivanting around the country. Carla had some space parasite, and Heather had some other things going on. And I was all by myself.
I leave for a couple of weeks, and this whole show just falls apart. Unbelievable.
We
Not
lost
entirely your
another
fault.
episode. We lost another episode. The prior week. I mean, it's clearly you just can't go on vacation ever, or
I guess not.
right. And then I'm slowing things up right before we hit record here. So it's great, buddy. It's great. But
technology hates us and wants us to fail.
That's right. We just want to talk about Star Wars. That's not terribly hard, so
we're not asking for much.
Nah, but it's Mon Mothma Monday, man. Let's do this, dude.
Right on. Yeah, I enjoyed listening to you, the NPR version of Todd Hoffman last week.
Yeah.
That was very nice.
Yeah. I try to mix it up, like talk to myself and answer myself. It was great. It was awesome.
Yeah. That was great. We made some lemonade out of lemons, by golly.
That's right. Exactly.
Speaking of lemons, Heather's not here.
That news? Yeah. You want me to that
Heather's
news?
not here. Carla is still fighting off the space parasite. So why don't you take it away, Todd?
Okay, cool. So we have 3 news items. Alt ending is the first one.
All right.
The next one is give me more.
More?
And then give me more. And then finally 47.
Ooh.
Yes.
That's a nice number.
Yes. I know. So so that is what we're going to be talking about later in the news.
Right on. That means it's time for our main topic.
And now for our feature presentation.
Take it away,
This
Todd.
is why we also need you here, Aaron, because the audio cues weren't working. Nothing was working. It was
like dancing
the Stone
without
Age.
music.
It was like the Stone Age. So that generic pause. These are all things that are just it's hard podcasting. They don't know the struggles, Aaron. But hey, we're going to talk about the struggles of the rebellion here.
Nice.
We're going to be talking.
Segue.
So if you're kind of new or you just don't have a good memory, short-term memory, that's fine. It's all good. We won't blame you. Imperial Inspection is our kind of little segment that we like to do deep dive character analysis on different characters in the Star Wars universe, big and small, both in runtimes, stature, and height and weight. Maybe I don't know. There's not really a lot of categories, but I pulled a fast one here because I was like, hey man, we're getting close to Andor. We should probably talk about this. Is really probably part one of Mon Mothma, because we're going to get a lot more of her obviously in Andor, but yes, but I thought it'd be good to kind of like set the stage, so when you come into Andor you're like, man, I know what Mon Mothma's all about now. I figured, right, exactly. So I figured let's just go chronologically of how we were introduced to Mon Mothma. And so we're working backwards, man. That's how Star Wars works here. So we get introduced to Mon Mothma. If you're not familiar, she's the leader of the rebellion in Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where the screen time is, Aaron, but it's low. It's very, very low. I would say
in the seconds. I would say
it's probably a hard minute.
Yeah.
She has the great line that I use whenever we send out. This is a little secret here. A little secret. I'm letting out the secret right here, Aaron. Anytime we send out any correspondence, like we have a guest on the show, give them a little swag pack or whatever, or listener email, I put on the front, many Bothans died to bring you this information.
Whoa,
that is one of
guilt trip.
Mon Mothma's lines that's used. And guess what, Aaron? To this day, we haven't seen a Bothan in Star Wars.
No, where are they?
We know about them.
Come on now.
So that's just one of those weird. We've mentioned this before. There's many things in Star Wars that are mentioned that are never seen, and many things that are seen but never mentioned. I think I said that right. Yeah. So, Ewok is never mentioned. Never mentioned.
But we see him.
We see him though. But that's kind of where all the action figures and all that stuff kind of help us out. But with Mon Mothma, she really doesn't have too much going on there, but they are the what is the Mon Calamari cruiser they're on? I think it's called the Home One, if I'm not mistaken. And so this is the briefing before the Bothans got them this critical information about the Death Star. And they're talking about, this is when obviously Han, Luke, and Lando, they're all there. The whole gang's there. Princess Leia, the whole gang, everyone's there. And so Mon Mothma is like, hey, they made a critical error, and we got information that the Emperor is going to be on on the actual Death Star. Like he's overseeing the construction of the Death Star. And so she's kind of setting the tone. Then she kind of steps back and says, hey, I'm gonna let General Akbar kind of take it away and kind of tell about the plans. Now, Aaron, I don't know if you watched the scene, but I've watched the scene a couple times, bro. The way Mon Mothma looks at General Akbar, I don't know if it's love, bro, but it's just like she's all in, man. She's like, this guy's smart. Or she might be thinking, why do I have this fish face guy talking about all this stuff? I don't know. There's just this look that Mon Mothma gives that is just, she's intense, man. So
yeah. Well, Todd, love leads us to do very stupid things. So if that's what you need to win the war, then by golly, go at it.
I'm not trying to spread rumors here, Aaron. I don't know if
Are we gonna have another
thing.
Is that the next clickbait article before Andor drops?
right.
Real relationship between Mon Mothma and Admiral Akbar on the home one.
right, exactly.
If you pause frame by frame, you could get some important clues to secrets behind their love affair.
Right, exactly. I mean, so really from a movie time, we just don't really get a lot from Return of the Jedi. I mean, she's there. No. She's like, hey, man, she seems reserved and a little sad. Like the way she delivers the line about the Bothans, like, hey, man, this cost us a lot, which is really critical. I think she understands, like, there's a lot of things that sacrifice, and and we'll get into that more in a little bit, but I mean, she knows that, hey, this cost us a lot, and we got a shuttle, we got some codes, and we're going to try to bypass all this and get to the forest moon of Endor and make some stuff happen. So, because this is, kind of like they've been fighting the war for a while now, and like we got it. We know that the Emperor is going to be here, so this is a critical thing for the rebellion. So,
yeah, when I was like a teenager, at some point, I was rewatching Return of the Jedi, and I was thinking about Mon Mothma because I always remembered like how sad she looked, like when she said like all the Bothans died.
Yeah.
And then and because her screen time is so short, I always wondered if she was like a celebrity from something else, and this is like a cameo.
Right.
That would be that's like the perfect length for a nice like, oh, you're in this movie kind of character.
Yes,
but
exactly.
But I don't think she's been like in a ton of other stuff before Return of the Jedi. Or if she was, I just didn't know about it.
Yeah, I can go all the way down here at the bottom here. She was played by Caroline Blakenston. So she was working on a TV show in Manchester, and that's where she kind of got, she was doing some TV stuff. So it says, well, this is Wikipedia, so I'm just reading straight from the source. So she said, it says, Blankenstein was provided with an initial script of her brief part in the film, but upon arriving on set, she learned her lines had been changed and she would have to learn an entirely new monologue. What? No. How dare they?
I haven't seen that before with George.
Yeah. This proves somewhat stressful, particularly the result of the dialogue containing Star Wars terminology, like the word Bothan. While in production, Blankenstein came up with her own idea for character's backstory, hoping to find inspiration in Star Wars saga's classic underpinnings. Whoa. She felt that the name Mon Mothma bore similarity to the words Moon Mother. As a result, she saw her character as someone who would be cool and collected. Wow.
There you go.
I mean, I could see that. I mean, she's kind of like the mother of the rebellion. She's kind of like,
in a way.
Yeah.
I just think it's cool that for like being on screen for a solid minute, like she's one of the more like memorable characters from Return of the Jedi and the trilogy as a whole, to the point where I always thought that she like showed up in A New Hope somehow, but no, she hasn't. So that's really neat. And you also
we got a lot of old dudes in the back that have crazy beards at that ceremony,
and like huge eyebrows.
And there's one guy that's like almost sleeping back there, and I love that guy. I forget his name, but he's just like sleeping back there, like whatever. We're missing a little Mon Mothma, because I think part of it too. I mean, obviously this is all, at this point they probably, we're talking A New Hope was on a shoestring budget as it was. They wanted, Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher is a prominent woman, and you don't want another. It's kind of like when a girl shows up at a wedding in another white dress that the bride's supposed to be wearing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you have two, because like her gown is all white. She's got some, silver stuff going on. Some chains. But it would have been distracting if that's kind of like her prominent attire or whatever. If also Princess Leia is in kind of that gown as well, it just doesn't.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, is that Princess Leia or who's this other girl? And so the really, it's just like, and you could also think about it too, is like she is dealing with some other stuff, and she might even be in the Senate at this point still too, playing both sides. So she couldn't be at that ceremony in Yavin, you know.
Yeah, because like the Senate had just gotten disbanded. She's probably like starting to put a team together. Who knows?
Well, and I mean, and you know, if you think about it, she's in Yavin in Rogue One, but maybe she has to go back to the Senate or something like that, and that timing, whatever, that's where everything kind of goes.
Meetings. Could have been an email.
Presentations, PowerPoint presentations, that kind of stuff. So
the other thing you pointed out that surprised me when I heard it is that we haven't seen Bothans anywhere in Star Wars, ever.
No. Yeah.
You know, if you played Star Wars Battlefront 2, they're a playable unit in that game, and they've shown up in Legends and like comics and books and stuff, but never in any official Star Wars stuff. So I wonder if we're gonna finally see a Bothan in Andor.
Dude, that would be the bee's knees. So I don't know what
they have. The Bothan spy network. It's the most obvious thing.
Yes. And Cassian is like, he's like in like the intelligence officer. So he's got to have some Bothans in his back pocket. Dude, if we see some Bothans, cool. I mean, you know, with Jon Favreau, he's pulling off some crazy stuff, and you know, he's throwing in Life Day, and you know, we got a Star Wars bathroom and Mandalorian. I mean, there's all these things that they're just like, you know, he's got sand people brushing Bantha's teeth. I mean, this is everything. We got everything going. We got. I think Tony Gilroy. I hope somebody from the story group is like, dude, we got to put a Bothan in Andor. It has to happen. So
yeah,
I'm hoping so. You know, because like everyone wants these crazy species. You know, we got JJ with the blob guy and the Rise of Skywalker. Like, oh, this guy's fantastic. He has no arms and he's looking at a council. What is he doing? He can't do anything. Whatever, Claude or whatever his name is. We need a functional Bothan here, Aaron. That's what I'm talking about. So
yes, and Todd, we have Tony Gilroy. He's helped with like the Bourne movies.
Yes.
I hope this is some kind of like boots on the ground kind of cloak and dagger spy show. That would be the coolest Star Wars thing ever. There's this old British TV show that laundry's done.
Sheets are done.
There's this old British TV show called Sandbaggers, and no one's ever seen it, but it's the coolest thing ever because it's like MI6 during the Cold War, and it follows this like unit of spies, and all the show is people talking, and it's them basically like, okay, we're in this like diplomatic emergency, and we need to just like figure things out to prevent like this huge disaster from happening, whether it's like a war happening or countries not talking to us anymore, stuff like that. And it's just people like, what deals can we pull? What information can we get? What moves do we need to make in order to like, not have everything fall into disaster? And it's great. It's fantastic writing. It's just super cool spy stuff. Like, it's not as flashy as James Bond, but it doesn't have to be because it's just very grounded and real with the problems that they're trying to solve. And I really hope that we get some of that groundedness with Andor, because I think that would make a fantastic kind of spy show that seems to be right up the alley as far as who Cassian Andor is.
Yes.
That's my wish list.
Okay.
Throw some Bothans in there. Have them be sandbaggers. That'd be awesome.
Bring some Bothans. We got Andrew here from science fiction. Geez, I can't even talk today. Coruscant.
Science Fictionary Coruscant Radio Underground?
Jeez. Yeah, that thank you. He was saying more Borgullets. We need more of that, you know.
Oh, a little interrogation.
I think he's more with Saw, so I don't know. Maybe we'll see him. I don't think he's
Those are
more of
some
a mobile
unorthodox methods.
Yeah, he's more of a not a more mobile kind of guy. He's kind of stationed at one spot. I don't see him moving around too much, but
He has ways of making you talk.
That's right. They tend to make you go crazy. So Mon Mothma returns Jedi. That's it. She's a little sad about the Bothans. She gives a googly eye to our big-eyed fish friend, General Akbar or Admiral Akbar, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So
groovy haircut. That's it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's got a real goofy kind of haircut too. Yeah. So then we go to Revenge of the Sith. Now you're like saying, okay, where's Mon Mothma in Revenge of the Sith? Well, she's on the cutting room floor. So they Georgie in his infinite wisdom, filmed a bunch of different stuff about getting the Senate going into a direction of, things going down in the Senate is not really cool. And we need a group of people. And it's somewhat hinted like Padme's hinting it like, hey, are we fighting on the wrong side? Like she says that to Anakin, and Anakin's like, what are you talking about? But that was kind of underpinning. And so Bail, Padme, Mon Mothma, and a couple, there's I forget what they called it. I think it was like they're just basically trying to get signatures. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
Trying to get like, hey, we're not really cool with this, Papa P doing his thing now. It sounds more like a dictatorship, that kind of thing. So he casted Genevieve O'Reilly for this role. And they did a couple scenes, and you can't see them on the Blu-ray, and maybe it's on the D+. I'm not 100% sure, but they're floating
around YouTube too.
Yeah. They were pretty much completed scenes. So it's not even like green screen. I mean, most of it is like an actual, they got the digital backgrounds, the whole thing, and it looks like she's in an office and stuff like that. And so there's a couple other senators with her, and they're basically talking about like a coup in a sense, where they're saying what's going on right now is not cool. Obviously with George, in timing, and this happens all the time with films, is like it just didn't quite fit in what he was trying to do, so
too darn long. So
but then he cuts like Yoda going to Dagobah, and whatever, dude.
Must have cut it pretty late if all the effects were done.
That's what I'm thinking. At that point, at the final staging, they're probably just trying to understand the flow and get it down to that runtime that they're looking at. Obviously, in some cases, studios say, hey, this has got to be 2:15, 2 hours, 15 minutes. That's all you get.
Yeah.
And this
need more screenings per day.
Right. So I thinking for him, it's more or less, the beats, he just didn't like that. Maybe it slowed down because it is almost all dialogue. There's no, it's not much going on. You can't throw some droid going through a factory or whatever, whatever
else you
Georgie
need.
Yeah. But I will say this, George's casting and the casting director for the prequels set up, who would have thought would have set up all this now. So, I mean, everyone, so we got, Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru, they show up in Obi-Wan like, hey, yeah, we're here, and now we got, Genevieve coming back to do a little bit more here in Andor. But good thing for her, they're like, okay, so basically nothing is a Revenge of the Sith, but you can watch it on the like I said, it's on the Blu-ray, and it might be on the Disc Plus. I'm not 100% sure if they have all the deleted scenes there. But we get Mon Mothma again in Rogue One. So she is now this obviously her scene. She has a couple more scenes, which is great for Mon Mothma fans. We get more Mothma. I just want to say her name like 1,000 times just to keep
It's
keep
a
it
fun
going.
name to say.
It's a fun
Mon
Mon Mothma Monday. So we're introduced when Jin gets captured and she's brought to Yavin 4. We've seen this place before, which is kind of cool. It's a big area of where they had the tactical readout in New Hope. And basically we have kind of she's interviewing Jin. What's that other gentleman's I want to say Striker, but that's it's like Davin or I don't know. He's the one guy that
stiff upper lip British Army man.
Yeah, and then he's like, we just need an introduction, and then Cassian's kind of interviewing Jin, and Mon Mothma is really just trying to like, hey, this is the deal. We're trying to make this happen, and trying to get this, and says Saw is an extremist, but we need somebody with the inside, and that's where it's kind of all happened together. And then Bale shows up just for prosperity or whatever. But Mon Mothma is suddenly say, hey, I'm willing to set you free and get you out of your current situation. We need some help here, and so going back to that earlier quote about that motherly thing, I really do feel that's something that she portrays. Like in a leader, she has compassion. You could definitely tell that. And she's not as hard-nosed as whatever that guy's name, Draven, Striker, I forget. He's really mad at everybody and tells Cassian to kill Jin's dad. And have you heard in there? Don't worry about it. Kill him.
Yeah, well, it's important that you bring that up because it shows that even like in the Rebel Alliance, there's like different opinions about how they should like go about doing things.
Yes.
And it's an angle that I really hope that they explore in Andor, because you have a general British Army man who's like pretty much the ends justify the means, like, war is terrible and sometimes you have to do terrible things, but that's what you got to do. And then you have Mon Mothma, who's very like peace loving and idealistic, and it's like, sometimes you have to have war, but it should be like,
well,
I think one of her quotes is like, war should be like a short period of chaos between peace, and like nobody should strive for it to be a constant thing.
Yeah, and so obviously we see that in Palpatine, obviously orchestrating the whole Clone Wars and drawing it out where it's exhausting both sides, right? He's playing both ends. He's the puppet master. And we have Saw, and Andrew kind of brings this up, and he says, do you think that we'll use this show to tell us what Saw did that was so bad that the rebel cut ties? So if you read in the books, they go into that a little bit, that Saw does not care about casualties. He's there to get the job done. He's kind of that, one of the things that I love about Rogue One is obviously we see the rebellion get their hands dirty, which we never seen before. You never see a good guy kill somebody, you just don't see that. And so it makes it very real, and that's obviously Cassian's plea at the end is like, hey, I've done some horrible stuff for the rebellion, and if I don't see this through, I can't live with that,
Yeah.
Where Saw is like, this is, and like even in the Andor trailer, he's like, call it what you will, and Saw is like right at it. I'm calling it war because that's what I want. He's bitter, obviously if you watch Clone Wars, he's bitter about what they did to his homeworld, and he just drives that with his partisan. He just drives that. And I think Mon Mothma, obviously being the figurehead of the rebellion, she does not want it to be like another empire. She wants to hear all sides. And obviously when we get to the end of Rogue One, she basically says we don't have equal votes to make this move to go to Scarif. We can't. The council doesn't agree. This is crazy. I love all that one rebellion guy.
What is she proposing?
Not that guy. I love that guy too. But the one guy that's at the table, he's just kind of mad. He's like, this is
ridiculous. Angry eyebrows guy.
Him. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's so pompous. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
like they all forget that they're all ex-Imperials anyways, but whatever.
Yeah. There's this great scene in Rebels where Mon Mothma and Saw Gerrera are like basically having a debate over the HoloNet. And Mon Mothma's like, if we degrade ourselves to the Empire's level, what will we become? And Saw Gerrera's like, there she is. That's the leader the rebellion needs. Where's that fire, that passion when your people need it most? I hope, Senator, after you've lost and the Empire reigns over the galaxy unopposed, you will find some comfort in the knowledge that you fought according to the rules. And it's like, great. It's conflict, even among the good guys, that they have very different ideas about how to go about it.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying.
Like, we got to follow the rules. We got to be the better people. Yeah. Like, wartime is no excuse to do more evil. And on the other hand, war crimes. So
yeah. Saw. That's what I'm saying. Saw does not care. He doesn't care. He's like, he sees it straight up like they're trying to kill us or they're trying to suppress us, and we got to do everything we can to make that happen.
Yeah.
And again, we see that play out a little bit with Rogue One, where Cassian sees the dude about ready to throw that grenade on the tank trooper, and Jin's in that spot, and he doesn't want to injure Jin, so he pops him, and that's where Two Tubes is like, hey man, he shot my guy, and now he's bringing them to Saw, because it's like there's infighting there too. It's like, hey, we had this whole thing planned out, and now you're ruining our thing. I definitely, Mon Mothma is trying to play by the rules of engagement. And to your earlier quote about that short amount of time, she's not trying to extend this at all. She's just like, we're trying to, obviously in Rogue One, she's trying to build this up, and they finally got a lot of, and I think that's where we're gonna see a little bit more on Andor is like, we have all these cells, right? These rebellion cells, and she and Bail are bringing this together in Rogue One. They finally got assembled right before Scarif. They're actually like a team now, and not they're all these separate little things,
Right.
And Saw is that irritant that doesn't want to play nice in the sandbox, so.
Yeah. But it's her commitment to that peace through diplomatic means that really defines her character. Many different times during the Clone Wars, she's negotiating, trying to basically talk their way out of the Clone Wars. At one point, they are trying to decide if the Republic should buy 5 million more clones, and they're like, that's just going to keep the war going further. We can't be doing that when we could be spending that money helping the people who are hurt by the war. And another point, I think that's the debate where they're trying to basically
deregulate
the banks.
Right, yes.
That gets in this whole military industrial complex.
But that's funny because that is exactly what George Bush did.
Yeah.
I mean, Luke,
George Lucas is not even hiding it.
No. Well, and what's the one senator? What's the one Nemodian? Lot Dodd is a direct Star Wars name from whatever that dude's name in the Senate that was at the time.
That's right.
I can't. He had a big. He had gray hair. I mean, they all do, but he was just gosh, what was that guy's name? He went George was not even hiding it. It was he just was I hate politics and politicians, and I mean it's true. He was a senator in the U.S. Senate. I don't know a lot.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. But yeah, George Lucas just pulls from real life for all the politics stuff in Star Wars, and it's if you know even a little bit about all that, then it's very easy to find.
And I think obviously with the Clone Wars, I mean that's a little bit of also his take on Vietnam, and just we're doing things that seem good, but why are we there, and extending that for what, and I think that's also where I feel like Mon Mothma is trying to say, okay, what's going on in the Senate and with the Emperor is not good. We have to change it, but we want to be humanitarian about it. And I think that's a very interesting take on, her stance there as far as with war and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about what you want to see in Andor with her. Like what's something we've already seen a little bit. The one quote that's in the trailer was very interesting. Is like, she could be an irritant in the Senate while other things are going on. So she's also a little cloak and dagger, as you were kind of mentioning earlier. I think that's super interesting. I'm really interested in seeing that political stuff in this arena.
Yeah. I'm imagining this show as, I don't know if they're going to go for this angle. It would be great if they did,
sure.
But that's
right.
my opinion.
Right,
it would be great for this to be about like the role of power in this kind of turbulent time of politics, and like how power is used for different reasons. Because like with someone like Mon Mothma, she's relying on like the alliances that she's able to form and the kind of deals that you can make, and it's very much the currency of power that she's trading in is like diplomacy.
Yeah.
And then you have like on the other end, people like Andor, who power is basically like the people on the ground, like getting shot and shooting back.
Yes. Right.
And like what that can be applied for. And then you have like someone like Saw Gerrera, who's like kind of the same thing, but the other side of the coin, where he's very much about like the ends justify the means.
Yes.
They're playing dirty, so I'm going to play dirty too. And basically like not caring who gets in the way.
Yes.
I really hope they get more into that, because it seems like up to this point, they've talked a lot about how Saw Gerrera like is a loose cannon cop who doesn't play by the rules.
Yeah.
But
right. Yeah.
They've never really shown it.
It would be cool. Like it would be cool. Like Andrew was saying earlier, I think, obviously, again, you're trying to get this wider audience. They do talk about it in the books, but like to see it will show him in a different way, and again, we want to see that kind of stuff. And I think that's important to play out. I mean, I think why some of these newer shows are so popular, say like, again, like Game of Thrones or Breaking Bad, all these kind of shows, is that characters are terribly complex and it's not black and white, right? And so, like in Game of Thrones, you have situations where this guy's clearly a bad guy, but then he does something good, and it's like, wait, that doesn't make sense. Or then you have somebody that is completely clean and does something corrupt, and it's like, wait, what's going on there? That's and so I think that's life. As humans, we have both sides in us. It's not we tend to lean on one side or the other, but there's a lot of gray, and I think it's important to show that in the Star Wars world and kind of talk about this, like, hey, how far are you willing to go? And I think that's where I really like Rogue One, and Andor in particular is like, he said it. He's like, I've done things that I am not really proud about, but I did it because the end goal is like, we're trying to get out of this suppression of what is happening, because they're doing even worse things to us, So I'm very interested to see how Mon Mothma is playing the political game, or the military, the strategy in the Senate, where, like you said, Andor is more your foot soldier, get your feet dirty, let's steal some stuff from the Empire,
Yeah. It would be great if, because I'm just thinking about how you described Mon Mothma as like the mother of the rebellion, and mothers are nurturing and caring and like self-giving and self-sacrificing, but they're also a good mother has like a spine of steel, and like,
Yeah.
you know, let's see that mama bear come out. And
Ooh, yeah.
it'd be really interesting to see, like, it'd be very easy to write Mon Mothma as kind of like a peace-loving hippie, and that's just kind of the end of it. But it'd be really interesting to see if there's some kind of conflict within her where she's like, I really see where Saw Gerrera's like coming from. Like,
Yes,
I want to agree with
yes.
him. I want to just be like done with these like stormtroopers and Imperials and just like, screw it. Let's play dirty. But I can't.
Yeah.
That'd be really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and maybe, you know, the one things is too is she has something to fight for too, where she has a family, or she has, you know, she has, again, I think it's clear, you know, like, you know, what Jin decides in Rogue One is like, she finds out that her dad wasn't a bad guy and didn't abandon her, and he did something. He basically said, I had to make myself, I knew they were going to do it without me, but I had to make myself invaluable. And when I knew that, I had to lie. And because I lied, I decided I'm going to do something to get them back in the worst way possible. And I think part of that is maybe the same thing with Mon Mothma, is like, she might be playing this whole other side, where she might have got burnt, obviously, you know, like, she's trying to play that other side and make sure they understand, like, she's all in with that, you know, the Empire, but then behind the scenes, she's really trying to, let's get the band together, you know, and make this happen, you know. I'm really interested. I'm really interested to see the dynamics of Bail and Mon Mothma, like how that happens and how that partnership happens, because it's clear they are in Rogue One. They're tight, you know, and because you know, she's like, and what about, you know, like, obviously there's that one throwaway line where she's like, what about your friend? You know, what about the Jedi? Like, so, you know, Bail told that's not something you just throw out to somebody. Yeah. Like, hey, I got this Jedi. He's hanging out, you know, watching this other guy that's going to be a Jedi, you know, like, there's some things you don't share, and it's clear they had that trust relationship. I want to see that, like, that trust bridge built in Andor with him, and, you know, with Bail and Mon Mothma. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, because, like, at that point in the Star Wars story, it's like mentioning that you're a friend of the Jedi is like, hey, remember my old pal Bill, you know, that member of Al Qaeda? It's like, what?
Yeah.
So you gotta know who to trust before you just like spill the beans like that.
Right. You mean like the whole reason that the Empire is like, they got these Inquisitors, they got this dude that's, I think, you know, because like there's got to be one of the things that I always find it fascinating too is like there had to be some rumblings about Darth Vader and stuff like that, but I don't think he is, you know, he's not hanging out at the Senate building. He's not hanging out there. Right. So there's got to be some kind of rumors floating around, but like, again, I think it, you know, like how we are set up too in America, it's like, I don't know what the Senate or the House of Representatives does. I don't even know. I know they have recess and they come back and then they spend all their money and then they come back and like, hey, we're out of budget. Like, I don't know. But I know there's some people that are good and some people are bad in politics. I know that for a fact. But it's like, you know, when you have that cross between I'm trying to help the American people out, and then you have the soldiers doing the work, you know, there is a bridge there sometimes where like, hey, I really want to see what they're doing in the front line, you know, and that's what good leadership's all about, you know, and I'm interested to see that dichotomy of like, how does she know this other horrible things are going on? Where's that information coming from? Does she see that firsthand? Does she experience that?
It comes from the Bothans.
The
Hashtag
Bothans.
show the Bothans.
Show the Bothans. Show me the Bothans.
Yes.
Oh my
yes.
gosh. Show me the Bothans. I will make that trend on Twitter for you, Aaron, so we can
Please.
we got to get some Bothans. Yeah. Because she was sad about him. Return of the Jedi.
Now we got to know why.
Right, exactly. Any closing thoughts for our favorite Monday Mon Mothma Mondays?
No, I was a little worried when Mon Mothma was the subject of this episode that we wouldn't have that much to talk about, but
Hey,
look at us
man.
go. We talked for like an
We
hour
are
about
Star Wars. We are. This is if we can talk about Wilbur Hood, that's only got 3 seconds of screen time. I mean, she's got a full minute, dude. She's got a full minute. I mean, this is she's
that
like
last.
living life. Yeah, she's living life now. So, but yeah, it's super cool. I'm really interested to see again. Andor's definitely playing the long game, so I feel like we're gonna get a good chunk of understanding who she is. And like I said, my wish list is really understanding that relationship between her and Bail, and that kind of starting of the rebellion is something that I'm really, really interested in. So
Likewise. You know what else I'm interested in?
Yes.
Paying the bills.
Oh, there you go.
All right. This show is brought to you by Audible, Amazon's premier audiobook streaming service. Head on over to audibletrial.com/WSTR to claim your free 30-day trial, which includes a free audiobook of your choice and 2 free Audible originals with a new selection cycled out each month. You might want to consider picking up a book on diplomacy while you're at it. You can listen to that wherever you go, commuting to work, from work, the grocery store, taking care of your kids, that Valentine's Day date. Just tune out your significant other and learn something about diplomacy.
I'm researching about Star Wars, hon. That's what I'm doing.
Of course. So if you want to do that, audibletrial.com/WSTR to get your free audiobook. We're also on Patreon, patreon.com/WSTR Media. We are brought to you by our current patrons, Jeremy Meyer, Scarif Scuttlebutt, Elena Strikes, Nicholas Schaefer, Rural Farm Boy, and David Sager. Thank you so much for contributing to the show. And Todd Talk, episode 4 is out, talking about Gundarks. Todd, why don't you talk about that?
I love talking about random stuffs. I think this episode has inspired me. I got to talk to me about some Bothans next on Todd Talk, and let's talk a little bit more about these Bothans. But yeah, I like taking little things that are in Star Wars and just obviously talking about them for a little bit. So that's what that's all about. So check that out. I will be dropping a new episode this week for sure. And I might just change it on the fly like it did tonight. That's how fluid I am. Might change it, talk about some Bothans, but yeah, exactly.
Okay. Bills are paid. So Todd, why don't we head on over to the Twitter trash compactor?
Get in there, you big 40! I don't care what you smell!
Okay, it's stinking in here. It's trash day.
It is.
We gotta
It's
take it
time
out.
to take it out. Yeah, it's time to take it out here. So here we go. We were looking at costume designer John Molo last week. He was the costume designer for A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. And no big deal. First credited costume designer for A New Hope, and he won an Oscar. No big deal. So we're talking about him. What is your favorite outfit between A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back? Since there's only 4 slots, comments are most definitely welcome. So I put down here Darth Vader, Leia, Cloud City gown, Imperial officer, and then Han Solo smuggler outfit. Those were the 4 choices. There's many outfits to choose from A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. We have conversation saying, I always love the Hoth Rebel Trooper uniforms.
That's
good
a
choice
great
there.
choice.
Conversations. I think, one for me, I'm already going to put in a plug in here. I just love Han's winter jackets. It's
Yeah.
like
It looks so warm.
It looks so warm. He's got the fur collar. I mentioned this today on Twitter, but one of the craziest things is that jacket's actually brown. It's actually brown, but because they I see your look. Because they oversaturated the film, it looks blue, and the action figure is blue. So because the action figure is blue, it's always been blue in my mind. I would have to reach over, but I have a book of costumes, and I tell you what, it's like it has all these Star Wars costumes, and it goes in great detail. And I'm turning the page, and I'm reading all this great stuff, and then they come to the Hoth jacket of Han, and I'm like, that's a brown jacket. How is that a brown jacket? I can't be brown. And they kind of go
the dress all over again.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, right, exactly. It's like the dress all over again. And I was just like, that is a brown jacket. I have never it's blue. It's blue. So yeah, but it's based on, because of oversaturation of color they're trying to use with the white, it like whatever, something happened with the film, and obviously we're talking the 80s here, and it made it look blue on film on most of the stuff. So there's a little fun fact. But I do like, back to conversations, I love anything on Hoth, all that, like Luke's gear, and just even the little comlink on the glove, all that kind of stuff. Like, that stuff gets me. It's like there's that practical, it's like a combination of actual costume and then like the little greeblies that they add to the stuff. Yeah, it just, it makes it happen. And one of the things that, kind of smokes my noodle is that, like, basically just like anything else, is that without his designs, we wouldn't have the designs of like Star Wars, because he, it's like, George talks this crazy stuff, Ralph McQuarrie paints it, and then John Molo makes those paintings into reality by grounding that, and he's an integral part of like the costume design and the looks and feel, from the Rebel X-Wing pilots to all these things. I mean, there's like all the Imperial officer stuff. I mean, that's all John Molo. Without that first step, you want to get here. And then if you really want a smoking noodle, what we're going to see in Andor is like, just like John Molo 2.0, because it's like, he's got the blueprint and then they expand it. So,
yeah. So would he be kind of like the spiritual grandfather of the 501st? The patron saint even?
He could be. Yeah. Because I mean, he's the one, he took that, Darth Vader and the Stormtrooper, and he made that all.
Yeah.
One of the cool things that, obviously, is that his dad was he loved military uniforms, and that was his passion. And that's how John Molo got into it. He basically was like like military enthusiast for uniforms. And that's how it kind of got into that. Don't ask me how George found this dude, but he found him. Was like, hey, you want a job? And sure, John Molo was like, yeah. And all of a sudden, it's great. So, and one of the things that the other cool thing, John Molo, one of the cool things about him is that he basically helped them categorize for action figures, because there's so many characters, right? Like if you think of like, just like the bar scene, right? There's so many characters, right? So not only from a costume and design perspective, you have to understand who that character is and what they're going to wear, so then you can kind of keep it organized when you go on set. So he did all these kind of rough sketches of them, and then basically gave them names. And so some of those names stuck. And so John Molo, he's a legend. So anyways, back to the poll. Here we go. Darth Vader, Leia, Sky. What would you be picking? Let's start there before I go with the answers here. Do you have a write-in? Because you usually do, but you might like one of these four. I'm not sure.
I was gonna say Imperial officer until conversation said the Hoth Rebel Trooper uniforms. I think I have to go with that.
I know. The Hoth stuff is so good.
It is. Like it's like neck and neck between that and the snowtroopers.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, you think about it too. Like you think like each of the hero characters have their own outfit. So Leia's got like this cool kind of winter jacket. Han's got that awesome trench coat looking brown jacket, blue jacket. And Luke's got Luke got that, Leia's got that, and then you got all the rebel troopers. They all got this great look,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
But
the Imperial officer and all the officers are just cool. They're just cool looking. They're just cool. So we have Darth Vader, Leia Cloud City gown. I know Carla she's working on that right now, so I know she likes that one. But Imperial officer, and then Han Solo smuggler's outfit, which is kind of cool too, because that's got that whole Western cowboy vibe going on,
Yeah.
the belt, but I mean, like, all that stuff is that the belt buckle, the whole thing, like, it's so good. So for Twitter, 13% only went to the Imperial officer. What the heck? What are you guys doing here? Han Solo smuggler's outfit came in at 17%. So that means there's only 2. So that's Leia Cloud City gown, which is 30%. And the final vote, 39%, Darth Vader. Darth Vader's cool. I mean,
agreed.
It's not too many times you can get like a motorcycle outfit, a gas mask, and a samurai helmet and make it look cool with a cape and pull it off somehow,
It would have been so easy for that costume to look absolutely ridiculous, but somehow it all came together.
Well, yeah, I always point to like Dark Helmet, like in Spaceballs. Yeah. It's like, I mean, he's got like the bow tie and like this huge head, and it's just like, it looks ridiculous, but somehow they pull it off, and he's one of the most recognized bad guys. It's just it's great. Yeah. But you're right. It's like, it's such a fine line from being totally ludicrous to like totally awesome. It's like this really like, oh no, that's too goofy. Well, but so there you have it. That's all the trash that we could take off tonight.
Sweet. All right, that means it's time for news of the week.
And now, the Star Wars News of the Week.
All right. Our first article is coming from movieweb.com. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker fan poster imagines epic alternative ending. The Star Wars sequels brought mixed reviews. Really? I was not aware. For many fans of the franchise, but only a piece of fan art has revealed how the saga could have ended. Tell me more. Blah, 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 all the stuff. Yada, yada. Okay. So this is coming from Tillin _ creative, and he shared their alternative ending, which could have seen a collective Jedi forming an alliance, the final act of the movie, to destroy Palpatine in an epic final battle. Obviously, we're podcasting here, people, but it is a picture of Emperor Palpatine's throne. That was also a Ralph McQuarrie throwaway art. Nothing thrown away, but anyways, the throne is there. There's lightning and the Emperor's on it, but then we have these kind of Force ghosts facing Palpatine. So there's a little bit of, I think this is on the post. So this is coming from this person actually goes into a little bit of what he's thinking about this piece here. So it says the dust settles when the wind is only prominent sound in God-forsaken place. Then from a distance you can only hear footsteps. And it's Palpatine scoffs at the thought of an entity to turn him from his great plan. He doesn't believe it. Then he feels it. An unmatched surge of energy so powerful he only felt it twice before. Who could it be? The figure is in darkness and ignites his lightsaber, lighting up the ground beneath him. The spotlight has been shined upon him. The Emperor, Ben, and Rey are baffled at the sight of the once legendary Jedi, Luke Skywalker. He has returned.
Oh my God.
What? Palpatine stands up from his throne. Skywalker, have you come to join me? That's a horrible Palpatine voice. But anyways, come fulfill your destiny. I'm not even going to try. Come fulfill your destiny at my side and rid these foolish Jedi from this universe. Luke raising his head, locking eyes with the once great Emily. No, I have come to destroy you for good. I will finish what my father started. Palpatine laughs,
Maniacally.
Maniacally. Jeez. That's a $4 word. Foolish
That's okay.
boy.
We're almost done.
Yeah. Foolish boy. You cannot defeat before me, before what makes you think you can kill me now. Your friends have perished. You are alone. Luke's facial expression changes. He smirks. No, Your Highness, I am not alone. The Jedi are more powerful than you ever could imagine. Then they just show voices. No. Oh, wait, here it is. Darkness from the Exegol's deep caves swell around, and Luke starts to light up around him from both sides, forming air itself. Anakin, Obi-Wan, Yoda, Qui-Gon Jinn emerge as Force ghosts.
Oh my God.
Taking it back, shocked at the sight of the 5 people he once thought were his biggest threats to his master plan are standing together as one. To be continued. ... Yeah. I said this before, I'll say it again. If they literally just put the Force Ghost at the end of the Rise of Skywalker, that movie would have been the bee's knees. I would have been like, yep, this is the greatest thing ever.
Everybody would have clapped instead of shrugged.
Yeah. Instead, you show these, you hear these voices, and you pay these actors to do these voices, but you don't put them on screen. Whatever.
We're just looking at a still image of the stars.
Yeah. Like what? Okay, we're looking around. Okay. I really like the idea though of the plan. Like these are, Anakin, Obi-Wan, Yoda, and Qui-Gon Jinn. They were all, like not trying to help him out. They were roadblocks into his plan. And I kind of like that. I mean, you might as well throw Mace in there, throw a little Mace in there. Then then that's a sweet deal. Because Mace is the first one, or not the first one, but like he's like, we're ending this part. This part is over, man. We're ending this right here. I agree. I mean, you're right there. You see, it's right there, and they just don't land the plane, Aaron.
So frustrating.
Dude. I can't. I just can't. I was like, you have all this money. And you can't make up some Force ghosts. I mean,
so my first reaction to this is like,
yeah,
this is some nice fan fiction. But then I realized like even fan fiction is better than what we got. So you know what? Fine. I'm all for it. Have the Force ghosts come back.
Yeah. Have you seen that edit though? There's a guy, I forget.
Yes.
Edit on that edit on YouTube where they do, and they're all lined up behind her, and I'm just like, I got chills. I'm like, that's exactly what I wanted, And I'm like still scratching my head because do you remember like Kevin Smith went to the set with JJ and he's like, I came back. It was like one of the last days of shooting, and I was crying. Like he was crying, Yeah. I'm like, what did Kevin Smith see? Is there that weird? Like I'm still thinking there's this JJ cut out there. Like maybe JJ actually put it in there, and the Disney execs were like, I don't know.
Oh man, it felt like
just
a final, like it felt like a student turning in a final project, and it's clear that they didn't have enough time to finish. Just stay on the stars for a little bit. Just put in the voices. We're done.
Right. I mean, I was so dumbfounded by that. I was just like, I couldn't get past it. Like I still can't get past it. I'm like, like, and if you do the like if you do the subtitles, I mean, it says Kanan, it says Ahsoka, it says, like it says the Jedis that are talking to Rey, and I'm just like, you got them in the studio. I mean, just do some mocap and you're done, and you could do some Force ghosts and
set up a webcam or something.
I mean,
I think the less said about the Rise of Skywalker, the better.
I know. But I like this. I like where this guy's going, man. I like it. Very cool. And it's a cool piece of art. So again, that is If you're on the old Instagram, it's TILIAN_creative. Very cool. Check it out for that picture there. Before we get on this Rise of Skywalker thing going on here, let's see what else we got going on. Okay. Comicbook.com. This is coming from comicbook.com. Star Wars Rogue One becomes one of the highest grossing IMAX releases ever.
Oh my Gorn.
What? Okay. So obviously upcoming Andor, Rogue One, they released it this weekend. So I had a little sneaky peek on the old IMAX. So Rogue One hit 250 domestic IMAX theaters this weekend and grossed 1 million in ticket sales, which pushed its overall earnings to 105. This now makes Rogue One 10 highest grossing movies to release in IMAX. So it's kind of is an add-on. So Rogue One obviously was released in 2016. We got a little bit more sales because of the re-release here this weekend or whatever. So it makes top 10, which is not too shabby for a little bit older movie here. So that is pretty cool. So there you go. That's nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I completely forgot it was coming out this weekend or last weekend. Then again, I had a lot on my plate.
Well, you know, I'll let it slide because real world stuff sometimes takes over, but
Yeah.
okay. The direct.com. Disney Plus confirms 47 movies and shows releasing in September.
Oh my Lord. What have we got, Todd?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I'm not gonna run through them all because that would be 47 things, but She-Hulk is going on. I don't know if there's gonna be a lot of stuff here, but I mean, we got, hey dude, September 8th is Disney Plus Day. So we got Frozen sing-along, Frozen 2 sing-along, Mickey Mouse Funhouse, Thor Love and Thunder, Car on the Road, Dancing with the Stars, Epic Adventures, Growing Up, Marvel Studios Assembled, The Making of Thor and Love and Thunder, Obi-Wan Kenobi, A Dead Return, Pinocchio, Remembering, Tierra Incognito, She-Hulk Attorney at Law, Episode 4.
Oh my God.
Friday, United Sharks of America. Of course,
What?
that sounds amazing.
I want to watch that.
Oh my God.
What could that be about?
Tornado? I have no idea. I really do want to know.
Are sharks holding elections now?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. So there's a lot going on here. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. So all through September. So I think the big launch is Disney Plus Day on September 8th. Hopefully it won't be some weird Twitter feed it was the other year. It was so weird.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is great. It's gonna be like this whole thing. I thought it was gonna be like streamed or broadcast or something. No, it was like a Twitter feed and these weird kind of like vignettes. And it's like you had to dig deep. It's like one long feed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it just was weird. So, anyways,
you know what's not on this list?
What's not on this list?
The Bad Batch.
There's some interesting things. Yeah, they said
Something's going
September. I'm wondering if that's going to be moved.
I think it's going to get moved.
Do you think that's going to be like next year now?
No, it's probably going to be like November, maybe December. I think they're making room for She-Hulk.
Well, okay, so here's a weird thing. The Andor move is weird too, because technically we're on the same schedule, like that release. So technically it's supposed to come out Wednesday, August 31st. So, and they moved it back 3 weeks, but we're getting 3 episodes in one, and it doesn't push it out further because it ends around Thanksgiving, which is great. I mean, hey man, we're getting 12 episodes. That's fantastic. But it's just weird that they're like, well, let's just She-Hulk run out and we'll just push this up. It's just a weird thing. I don't know why we can't have two content at the same time, but it's a weird move, I think, but whatever. It'll work, but it's like now we have to like cram again, not a big deal, but we have to cram 3 hours of Star Wars in, it's like, well, we would still get the same on the if we released on the 31st, but whatever. But yeah, Bad Batch, I think you're right. I think probably November.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, but then I'm interested too where they're going to slot Mando season 3. Like, where is that going to happen? Because usually Mando is our November one, right? The Mando season 1 came out end of October. Season 2 came out November. That's our fall one. So I don't know. Be interested to see where that falls. No pun intended. Well, I guess I didn't mean to, but anyways. So yeah, 47 shows by the end of September. You're gonna have 47 new shows on the Diz Plus. So there you go. That's all the news I got there, Mr. Aaron.
All right. That means it's time to grab a seat, grab a drink, and join us for Cantina Chat. All right, the part of the show where we talk about everything geeky and weird going on with our lives. Todd, what have you been up to?
Well, Aaron, I had to save this till right to the end because I did not forget about the IMAX release, and I went to see Rogue One in the IMAX at Seven Bridges, where we originally saw Rogue One. So I had a little
nice.
I got a little verklempt. I was like, oh, bringing back some good memories here. But yeah, so Seven Bridges has a really nice one in Woodridge, and so Trent, Ellie, and I went yesterday and saw it, and it did not disappoint. It was very good. It was awesome, and the little Andor vignette. So they did a couple trailers. So those are always good in IMAX when they're huge. So there was Wakanda Forever. New Black Panther's coming out, and then even though Avatar is not my favorite, it looked really amazing in IMAX. I was like, dang, this looks good.
Nice.
But then they did this vignette. And so it's a little bit of Tony Gilroy and Diego Luna kind of talking about what it means and what they're trying to do with the show, which was kind of cool, kind of seeing that behind the scenes stuff. Then they did what was kind of cool. They did a couple shots where they would show like the in camera view, and then they do a quick pop out and see like the camera filming that scene. So it's like camera on camera, so you could so it's like you see nice. Like say for example they show a couple death troopers kind of walking towards you, and then they kind of pan out and they see the death troopers kind of walk and pan across the camera. It was like it's cool, kind of cool seeing those little just kind of quick cuts there. But then they did like a full scene like that was pretty awesome. It was pretty cool. Nice. So Star Wars did release, I think this was last week, they released a little clip of what's the guy's name? Gosh, I'm thinking the guy Skarsgård or whatever his name is.
Stellan Skarsgård.
Thank you. Yes, he plays Luthen, I believe, or whatever. And so him and Diego are basically they're doing a deal drop. So Diego's got this whatchamacallit, and he's gonna give it to him. And what he wants to know is like, how did he get it? Like he's trying to understand, like, how did you just do this? And that's where basically that whole quote of the trailer comes from. They're so fat, they're so full of themselves. That's this whole quote that is taking from this clip. And basically he's like, hey, Andor's basically saying, well, you just look like them, get your hands dirty and get in there and get out. And so Luthen's character's like, is it that easy? So he's like trying to understand how this is happening. So to me, he sounds like he's Imperial, but he wants to know the secret sauce before he kind of makes the deal where he's like, I want to be a full rebel now with, and go to a better cause, So anyways, yeah.
Like
and there's like a turncoat, and there's, I'm just going to call them like Blue Corps. I don't know what to call them, but there's like, they're not Imperial, but they have like these blue, almost like kind of militant vests on, and they're like the local police. And so they get the drop that something's going on, and that it sounds like they're working for the Imperials, or they might be a subsidiary of the Imperials. It wasn't really, obviously nothing was explained, but anyways, they have a firefight and it's cool and it's awesome and looks great in IMAX. And yeah, so anyways, but yeah, so saw that. I just really forgot how much I love Rogue One. It just made me warm and gushy, and really excited for Andor too. So nice. Saw that. Yeah, so started listening to Princess and the Scoundrel, which is a new book by Beth Revis. You can go to, audibletrial.com/WSTR media and try it for today for a 30-day trial. So yeah, did that. Started doing that, or listening, and our boy Kevin, what am I trying to say here? Mark Thompson does the voice for Han Solo, and they have another girl doing the voice of Leia. So it's kind of cool because now they have multiple actors, and it's not just one person doing the whole thing, which is kind of cool. Makes this dynamic. So it's set right after Endor, and they're going to get married. So it's kind of all about that story. So it's pretty interesting. So doing that. I'm Big T, Little T. We just had an interview with Keith and Kevin. Keith and Kerwin from Father and Son Galaxy. So check that out. That was a lot of fun. We did a little trivia and tried to, squash each other in our Star Wars knowledge. So that was a lot of fun.
Neat.
Yeah. So, and I just dropped our little Rogue One kind of looking back at Rogue One. So yeah, check that out. Yeah, that's all I've been doing. How about you, man? What's going on with you?
Well, Todd, since you asked, 2 Mondays ago, I had a prior obligation, and then last Monday I was gone because I was on a trip to New York City.
What?
So, yeah, this is my first time going. Went with
Never been
3
to New
other
York.
guys. Never been.
Okay.
Okay. Went with 3 other guys. I almost didn't go because I got laid off earlier this month, and I was like, oh man, my student loan repayments are starting next month. I can't be spending money. I almost didn't go. Yes. And then one of my friends, she talked me into it, and I'm glad she did. Because imagine how much of a schmuck I would have felt if I didn't go. And then right when everybody gets back, Uncle Joe, Grandpa Joe says, Grandpa Joe have to pay your, Grandpa Joe says no to student loans, which, by the way, the amount that I'm being forgiven is almost exactly what I owe. So that's great. Anyway, I go and we do it on the cheap. We got tickets months ago, and it was I don't know, $80 per person, something like that. For a flight, yeah. It's stupid cheap. And then we got an Airbnb. It was a little jank, not gonna lie. But we found out that pretty much everything in New York is just jank.
It's a little janky. But okay.
It was just the right amount of jank, enough to be a fun adventure, but not enough to be miserable.
Not enough where you have a trash compactor monster hanging out or anything like that. Yeah.
Right. We weren't fighting the Dianoga just to use the shower. But it's basically a duplex, half a duplex, and we got a bedroom. There's 2 beds in it. We had to share it with 4 guys, so that was fun. And then a kitchen and a bathroom, and that's it.
Yeah,
so we're cool. For 5 days, we paid $145 each, which is that's nothing to stay there.
Drop in a hat.
Yeah, and so we're a 10-minute drive from LaGuardia, and we just happened to be in a Hispanic neighborhood where you have Puerto Ricans and Dominicans and
Yes.
just scattered about. And my roommate Josiah, he's been on the show once before. He's Puerto Rican, so he was able to like help us out when we needed it. But we were just like all super surprised like how nice New Yorkers are. Like we there's always this like prevailing belief that they're rude.
Yeah.
They're in a hurry. Like they're just gonna shout at you, but it's like no, everybody we talked to was super cool. We were walking through when we got there, and it's like 9 o'clock at night, and families are like hanging out on their stoop, and there's like families at like the playground and the basketball court, and people are just hanging out, and you know they'd like nod at us or say hi as we walked by, and we're like, oh, and we didn't check this beforehand, but we were like a 15-minute walk from the nearest train station, so it's a little bit of a hike, but we got there and we got like a 7-day unlimited pass for like $35.
Nice.
So
nice.
We just took the subway and the buses everywhere we went for the whole trip.
Right.
There was one time when we needed an Uber, and that was because it was like our last night. It's like 2 a.m, and we're trying to get a train back. And well, it wasn't even the sketch factor. It was like there's some like delay or problem on the tracks where we'd have to like divert and then take a shuttle and then like go to another train and then like divert back.
That sounds
and
very complicated. Yeah.
We're done. No, we're tired. Let's just go home. So we only used Uber once, but we did a speed run of like all the big New York stuff. We went to Times Square, the Empire State Building. We crossed the Brooklyn Bridge. We went to Central Park. We went to the Natural History Museum.
Which is very much like the Field. Isn't that very much like the Field? Yeah.
I would say the Field's better.
It is, because basically we copied New York and made it better. That's what
yeah. I might be biased, but what I realized is like the Field Museum is very good at contextualizing information in a way that you can understand. And I think their displays their exhibits are more linear, but they're more well organized, and it seems like they tell a cohesive story. Where New York is like, here's some bones we found. It's a pteriarcharid. Great example of a pteriarcharid. We're not going to tell you what it is, but it's a great example of one. Yeah. Anyway, we got some food at a food truck. Did
you fold the pizza? Did you go to the pizza place with the Spider-Man one?
Yeah, not the Spider-Man one, but we went to like a corner pizza store like in the middle of Queens, and we got like a slice of pizza and a soda for $5. It was awesome.
I know. That is the greatest.
The pizza is not better than deep dish, but it really hit the spot where it's just like, I want to spend $5. I want to have a nice snack.
Yes. Great. There's so much food in New York. There's just so much food. Like
there is.
And it's like cheap. That's the best part.
Our first night, we picked like an Ecuadorian restaurant. We go in there, nobody speaks English. The entire menu is just Spanish. And so we're just winging it. We got like the Google Translate app out, and we're just like, but we managed to get by, and we had a great meal and a great time. We got Puerto Rican food. We got Malaysian food. We got Polish food, which is like the best food I've ever had.
Nice.
We went to the Rockefeller Plaza. We accidentally crashed a wedding at St. Patrick's Cathedral.
You just walked in?
Well, we wanted to go to Mass Saturday night, and we got the time wrong, and we ended up there like an hour early, and there's just a wedding going on. But they still let like tourists through. They're just like, go off to the side and be quiet. So there's just this wedding going on. And we decided to just like sit and attend the wedding, and we like clapped and cheered for him at the end.
That's fantastic.
We went to the World Trade Center, and we like got up to the observatory and saw everything.
Isn't that cool, dude? That is so
really
powerful.
is.
That's one of the
elevators are fast.
ear popping fast. Yeah.
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 But yeah, incredible views. We came like we got really lucky because we went there like right at the golden hour, and it was like after a rainstorm had happened, and I managed to get like a picture of a rainbow, and you could see like almost a complete circle from that height.
Dude, sweet.
Yeah, it was great.
No big deal. No big deal.
Yeah.
And
what
then
also
you
stood out to me.
Well, don't forget you met Carla.
Yeah. So it was Saturday night. So the same night we crashed the wedding.
Yes.
We went over to this Puerto Rican restaurant. We met Carla and just got to hang out. This is the first time that she and I have met in person.
Right. Right.
She is so short. I love her.
She is small. Yeah. Yes.
But she met us out there. We had a great time.
That's so cool.
I had so much fun. What stood out to me was we went to the Museum of the Moving Image, and they had a Jim Henson exhibit, which was great.
What?
Yeah,
fantastic.
They had like everything that he ever worked on, and like all the little like notes and little keepsakes that he had like in his personal collection, like in the family collection they like had out there. So they had like the very first like Kermit puppet and like the little headset that he wore.
Wow.
And what was surprising to me is that he never really began his career thinking I'm gonna be like the mastermind behind this puppet show on TV. He just kind of like went from thing to thing and was like always trying new things and adding what he learned to whatever he came next to. So and you got to see like the scripts that he worked on and like the storyboards that he drew out for like different scenes, and it's like,
dude, that is cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. Highly recommend it. They had and basically the Museum of the Moving Image, they have like a video game exhibit too, but it's kind of like a small thing. It's very cool, but it's just a very small part of the museum.
Sure.
They have a reproduction of like the original Pong arcade cabinet and the original like Magnavox Odyssey and like the prototype that Ralph Baer built for Pong.
Yes.
Super cool. But they basically go through like every step of the movie making process, and they have like artifacts from different movies to represent that.
Gotcha.
So,
okay. Now I'm following you.
So they have like this one part where it's like all about like makeup and prosthetic effects, and they have a Chewbacca head there, and like
what
they have like they have like a version of the Chewbacca head, and then like like right next to it like a latex like mold of what I think is Peter Mayhew's face.
Yes.
And they didn't have a ton of Star Wars stuff, which I was kind of surprised by, but they have like they have like a copy of the Taxi Driver script that like one of the script supervisors had, and the "You Talking to Me" line was improvised. And so there's like a little handwritten note on there, like making note of that
"You Talking to Me"
line, like "You Talking to Me," yeah.
Wow.
They have like a script from Network and from a Seinfeld episode next to like the handwritten notes that Larry David would write, and then like the typed up script that Jerry Seinfeld would write.
Wow.
And they have this like huge audio exhibit too, where they have like all the old tech for like microphones and recorders, which I was super.
Did you like faint on the floor? Did you just like
pretty much? Yeah, I was like my jaw was on the floor and I was dragging it with me.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm fairly knowledgeable about like modern microphones and recording practices and stuff, but I always wondered like how did they actually record sound back then? Because it's not like it's not the sexiest job on the movie set, and it's not really well documented. But they had a ton of examples of like different recorders that they would use, and like the earliest ones were basically like wax like records almost. And they were like built into the camera, and you would just like feed a microphone into it and it would like carve out the sound as you recorded. And then they like moved on to tape and stuff like that. But even like up until like the 90s when stuff started to go digital, they still had like these recorders that would be like big reels of tape, and they would have like 2 inputs. For comparison, this recorder that I use to record the podcast and have used for like film work before, it's got 8 inputs. So the idea is like you, Todd, with your microphone right now, you have like 1 input into your computer. With this one, it's like you could feed in like 8 different microphones if you wanted and blend them all together.
Right.
And normally for like modern production, you would maybe use like 4 microphones. You might have like a boom mic and then like 3 or 4 like wireless mics, but then you would like duplicate that and record at a lower level, so if it gets too loud, you have like a backup that isn't too loud. But these guys, like for the vast majority of film history, you'd have like these recorders with just like 2 inputs, and it's like, how do you even do that? I don't know. It's really impressive.
That's true. You never really think about that. Like how did they actually do that? You know?
Yeah.
Most of it had to be a boom mic. They mostly had to do a boom mic, right?
Well, in the very early days, when they were like just getting sound on film, the microphones were like so like not sensitive that they still had to be pretty close to the actors on screen. So they would like hide them on the set, like behind props and stuff like that. They kind of make fun of this in Singing in the Rain. But then eventually they get like these big boom cranes, and it's like a big old microphone just like hanging right like above camera. Like they didn't have shotgun mics or anything like that. They just had to like get it close. And if they couldn't do that, then they would have to like record the lines afterwards. And they actually have this little exhibit where they have like a loop of like video playing, and you could step into the sound booth and they have like a shotgun mic in there, and you can actually like loop the lines yourself and like try to get it right. Super cool.
Yeah.
There's so much I want to talk about.
Yeah, that's what you do to our podcast. You just like loop, like, hey man, we got to record this all over again.
Yeah. There's so much neat stuff there. They have like
cool, man.
One of the original like Technicolor cameras, and it's like open on the side, and they have like film in it so you can see how it worked. Wow. If you're ever in New York and you love movies and you want to see what's going on, spend a day there.
It was. So you're glad you went. You're glad you went.
Yes.
You had fun.
I'm very glad I went. Made a bunch of memories that I will remember for a long, long time. And when I got back, my student loan problem was taken care of. So there.
Thanks, Papa Joe.
Still got to find a job, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
We will. That's true. Awesome.
That's my Cantina chat.
Because Carla and Heather are not here, so we had to expand on it. It was like,
of course, we're just doing our due diligence.
We're taking their time slots. Hey man,
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it for another episode of WSTR. So thanks again for listening. You can find us on the socials: Heather at Hawk Awesome, Carla at Carla Marie Giac, Todd at Tizad, myself at Aaron Julian, and we're a part of the Red 5 Network, a wonderful network of Star Wars podcasts. We want to hear from you, so comment, tweet, rate us on Apple Podcast. If you give us a 5-star rating, we'll throw some swag right into your face. You can catch our entire back catalog of episodes at podcast.wstrmedia.com. Store.wstrmedia.com is where we have our merch, and we are part of patreon.com/wstrmedia. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out in the YouTube chat. We live stream every Monday night-ish at like 8:15-ish Central Standard Time. Livestream.wstrmedia.com. Just subscribe so you'll get notifications. I mean, we don't have to worry about this whole nonsense. If you have
time
any
is
ideas
irrelevant
for show,
when we podcast,
live stream is just if you want to hang out with us while we record. We have a fun time.
We do.
All right. If you have any ideas for a show or you would love us to interview someone, drop us a line at mailbox@wstrmedia.com, or just say hi or some thoughts on the show that you had. Whatever you want to say, that's a great place to say it.
Tell us your thoughts on Mon Mothma. Aaron didn't think we could have a show about Mon Mothma, and we blew it open here, guys. So let's hear your thoughts on Mon Mothma.
Send us your Mon Mothma fan art. We know you've got it.
Right.
Make sure it's appropriate. Leave us a voicemail at 630-557-WSTR. That's 630-557-9787. All right. Next week, episode 282, we're doing a Star Wars contributions with Neil Scallon, creature effects supervisor for the prequel. So you're not going to want to miss that.
Yes.
All right,
actually,
Todd.
that is it's the sequels. I goofed. It's not the prequels, it's the sequels.
Oh my Gorn. Okay, Neil Scallon, creature effects supervisor for the sequels.
There you go.
You're still not going to want to miss that.
Right, exactly.
Okay, Todd. There's only one way to end this. Now this is broadcasting.
Alright, it's rolling.
I'm sorry, Charlie Murphy. I was having too much fun. Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water and I think of all the things what you're doing, and in my head I paint a picture. 'Cause since I come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like your dress. I want you to come on over and stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Did you have to go to jail? But your house on up for sale. Did you get a good lawyer? Hope you didn't catch a 10. Hope you found the right man who'll fix it for you. Are you shopping anywhere? Change the color of your hair. Are you busy? And did you have to pay that fine? You was dodging all the time. Are you used to busy? Since I come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like your dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the border